Going everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are all having an excellent day or night whenever you're watching this video. Let's talk about Jase Richardson, son of Jason Richardson, of course, NBA legend. And I'm still working through my thoughts on him. He's a fascinating player for plenty of reasons. We're just gonna watch a bunch of his offensive possessions from recent games and kind of live scout and make sense of Richardson overall. But like, subscribe, comments as always would be so appreciated. Help the algorithm. And Richardson has been just like comically efficient all year, and he's great in pretty much every action here. It comes off the screen to score on that first play, so we're going to see what he's able to do against Yakuchonis in Illinois. His three-point volume isn't that high, which does give me a little pause, but all of his other touch and shooting indicators are fantastic, and I believe his shooting track is very good. Whew. Jace's touch is amazing. Like, he will rely on some of these very, very tough finishes, but he has unbelievable touch and also the ability to like stay balanced in midair. Like, that is very, very impressive for a guy in Richardson who clearly I think can add a lot more muscle and strength, as he's I think the third or fourth youngest player in the entire draft too. So being a highly effective, productive young player is always a good thing. And Richardson, just, that's some unfortunate Will Riley screen navigation. We can give thoughts on other prospects as they become relevant, but this is a Jase Richardson video. Michigan State is always just like a tough context. Tom Izzo just does not like to play freshmen, and even when he does, like, Richardson is good because he is forcing Tom Izzo's hand. He is. I definitely wish Richardson drove more. Like, he definitely drives a good amount, but I feel like there's times when he passes up driving lanes for the tougher mid-range pull-ups, which I do get. I think Richardson playing, and like, he is forcing Tom Izzo's hand with the way he's playing. Obviously, his defense is really nice as well, but I think offense is where he's starting to make more of a difference. In a way that I think makes him really intriguing as a lottery prospect or even higher. The main questions about Richardson is like, what is this kind of low usage role going to look like translating to the NBA? He's probably going to be a good shooter, but I do think there's potential for him as a real like secondary creator. I don't know if he has enough advantage creation juice to work as a full primary, and he's a great decision maker, very smart player, very just like good passer overall. A little limited finishing at the rim, even though he's been very efficient this year. You can see he doesn't get up very high, doesn't end up scoring right there. So yeah, just like, the potential athletic limitations, gets blocked right there. You can just see it doesn't get up super quickly. And, that's fine. He doesn't need to be a super bouncy athlete. And like I said earlier, because of his touch and his balance, he can kind of get away with that in a lot of ways. But of course, at the NBA level, the athletes are so good. Man, he is killing it just curling around these ball screens. Like, Richardson's ability to like slot into an offense as an off-ball guard is going to be so valuable because like he's already doing it at Michigan State. He played next to Cam Boozer and Caden Boozer in high school, so he's used to playing next to other star-level players at their level. That was the Illinois game. Let's move on to this Indiana game. Richardson like plays way less minutes still than most other top prospects, but look at the respect Indiana gives him on the first play of the game. Richardson wants to come off these double screens over here. They're playing the top side as well, shooting to try to jump this gap because Richardson is a very good shooter. And hey, that's the important thing, right? With shooting volume is that defenses treat you like a shooter, is that, they fear you as someone who's going to shoot and punish them that way, and then they react accordingly. But Richardson attacking off the catch. Very tough shot. Again, has the touch to hit those shots consistently, or as consistently as you can, I think, but it's a tough way to live on these really contested shots. So it's just gonna be kind of monitoring what Richardson is getting. And I really like that he's willing, that like he wants to batter people and he wants to push defenders around, even though he doesn't really have the strength to do so yet. Like, he's dropping his shoulder, he's getting into defenders, he's trying to throw them off. And Richardson probably can add a ton of strength as he gets older and matures, right? Just based on his age and his frame. But the willingness to be physical, let's see, it's blocked. This Indiana game has definitely been a struggle compared to the early moments of this game, at least compared to the Illinois game. But it happens, always good to get good and bad tape on prospects to feel as good as you can about them. Is that the Austin Rivers commentating in the Big Ten? That's kind of cool. Shout out Jeremy Fears Jr., another really good player, just great, solid point guard, brother of Jeremiah Fears. Richardson versus this zone. He is a very good zone beater because of his IQ and quick decision making. This is just classic Jase, right? I think there's a couple things that stand out here. First, the quick decision, right? Gets run off the line because he's a shooter. Jase beats him middle and just like he takes off from outside of the paint, like scoops it in over it. Like that is his touch is crazy. Like he really is insane at floating these kind of weird angle scoops in. And I do think that's a very powerful thing and can make you a really viable. Someone's going to turn the ball over there. I do think his vision isn't perfect, where there's a decent amount of times on Richardson's tape where, whether it's just because of his size or however he's processing the floor, that he will miss some of these. And yes, he's in traffic on this one. I will say that, but I've seen this quite a bit on Richardson's tape, is, you know, not being as willing to take risks as an interior passer, which is fine, but I just think it's something to note in terms of his passing ceiling and just passing on drives. Yeah, three, but Richardson's a great shooter. He's been an awesome shooter. I have very few worries about his shooting, and zone defense is annoying, but Richardson just passing back through the defense, gonna get the ball back. Nice. Yeah, I mean, he's the touch continues to be evident on Richardson's tape right here. Again, fairly quick decision, pump goes, almost like a sky hook type shot, and yeah, Richardson is very efficient on these looks and can get to them pretty reliably. So I think if that can really be a scoring tool for him, just working in the intermediate. And a lot of young guards don't have that intermediate game. That's often the last piece of the puzzle. But Richardson already having that, like, definitely has. I'm not going to say he's like an NBA ready player just because he is so young, and there are plenty of things, you know, physically and in terms of decisions and mentally that he can clean up before he's going to be like a real contributor. But he is such a polished, smart, high field player. I think it's generally just worth betting on those guys improving and hitting their ceilings. And I generally feel that way about Richardson, even if I'm unsure yet of his ceiling, of, you know, what it's going to look like or what it could look like. Some like OKC stuff here. Guard in the dunker spot, going to place out to the corner. Again, decisive drive, and going to hit the little fadeaway. Another kind of moment where potentially had the interior pass here. But again, like, he's getting doubled. He probably doesn't see this literally. Just hits a crazy, beautiful fadeaway jumper. His craft and footwork are so good, so balanced and good at creating advantages with his feet. Step throughs, pivots, open threes right there. Richardson, like, doesn't have an incredibly complicated shot diet, which isn't like the best thing ever. It is a lot of catch and shoot jumpers, occasional pull-ups, good finish right there. Mostly open shots, though, for Richardson at this point, which is good. He makes the shots he's supposed to make, but again, just still curious about the exact level of shooter Richardson is going to be in. It's up turning the ball over. He's definitely struggled a little more as conference play has gone on, with like things like ball pressure and always making, you know, the right decision. This is also just a really nice defensive play right here by number 10, getting out to Richardson, clogging the pass lanes. But it does seem like he's not reading the game as sharp as maybe he did at some point earlier in the season. And then we're going to finish the video with this awesome Oregon game, which, actually, no, was this the Oregon game where he went off in? I think it might be. He definitely went off in a recent Oregon game, and I don't remember if it's this one, but Richardson hits the three. I think it's this one. He had some ridiculous plays, including a block that we're not going to see, but he had a crazy block on the second half, or maybe it was, yeah, in the second half, where like rotated the full length of the court to block a shot. But anyways, let's talk about Richardson's offense, which, like, defenses cannot go under him is the thing, which is very valuable for guards. Richardson is pretty much always willing to shoot when defenses go under. Like, when they give him the open looks, he punishes and converts them, which is all you can really ask for generally at this stage, right? But Would of course be good to see the volume get up, and he's just so good and in rhythm getting to his pull-ups. Again, we see the pacing and the intermediate game kind of crowded here, but he's just going to sit back and put Jackson Shelstad on his hip. He wants to get back to this open space in the middle. So, of course, Richardson just hits a smooth little step back, drops in that mid-range jumper. Again, the shooting touch, the scoring touch, all of that, we're just going to keep highlighting because it keeps showing up. Richardson's a great off-ball mover. Good job lifting to the top of the key there to give his guard an outlet. And then this was the example I was thinking of when I said earlier, like, I've seen him do this. I've seen him miss interior passes in other games. Watch number 0. Watch number 0 here. Yeah, he knows. I mean, it's not, again, not the easiest play because Richardson, one, is going to his right. He would have to pass with his weak right hand, which he can do, but it's not as comfortable with, right? And it's the height probably, again, helping him see over the defense. But, yeah, I don't think his passing is like, insanely high level. He's very quick processor, good decision maker, can run some good pick and roll, and has some manipulation to his game. But as, like, a live dribble passer, I think there's a decent way for Richardson to go. That I think he could definitely get there, but always hard to know with that kind of development. Again, we see, I remember this play. Oh my goodness. Again, we see the touch. He got smacked by Biddle and still stepped through. Again, we're talking about the footwork right here, just getting to that step through. And again, we see him use jail into a snake, right? He's going to put the defender on his back, get back to this middle side or to this right side, wherever he wants, pivot. Like, so crafty and creative. And even though he can't always create advantages in the traditional sense with like burst and explosion and strength and stuff, he does with his craft and with this skill that he's able to display. But here he's going to get downhill and pick and roll, and we can just see it. Oh my goodness. Even though he doesn't finish this, he's not super. Also, another missed interior pass. But he's not a super explosive vertical athlete. Like, he can really glide and move smoothly in the air, which definitely does help him as a finisher. But yeah, a good amount of missed interior passes that we've seen, unfortunately, for Richardson. Going to come off the movement screen. Again, like, not super good defense there, but he's coming off of movement, running a set as an off-ball shooter and succeeding. And that's all I can really ask for at this point, to like buy his shot, as at least to the point of Richardson being a good shooter, which I do think he is going to be. Really good at just getting his spots, using his strength, kind of like post bag at times to get to the rim. And because of his great touch, he can get away with some of this stuff. Like, he can be the type of finisher. There's one play I'm just waiting for. It might be on this one, or he just does some crazy shit. No, it's not this one. But again, we see Richardson working really well. I think does he make this shot? No, but I do like his off-ball work here, right? Instead of forcing a tough shot, he passes, relocates, and then kind of forces another tough shot, to be honest. But I do think we've highlighted his ability to play without the ball, to move in space, to get to his spots, to create advantages in space without the ball. Such a valuable trait for pretty much any player in the league to have these days, especially like guys who project as secondary guards like Richardson does. I don't remember all these plays, but he's got a little foul drawing cheese. He's got a little free throw. He's got a little foul drawing cheese to his game, which is a good thing. Good thing for your guards to have, no doubt. Richardson just going to get fouled here. Here it is. I think this is it. Richardson behind the back, crosses over, hangs in the air, and finishes. Oh my goodness, they're going crazy. And this is a ridiculous highlight. One of the best of the cycle for sure, where we see his deceleration. Stops on a knife. Also, maybe what I realized is number 0, just I think is this Jackson Kohler, always calls for the ball. It's just always calling for the ball. Like, dude, you don't have to always call for the ball. But to be fair, Richardson did miss him a couple times. Snatch back, decelerate. This defender jumps at Richardson, so he can go by. Again, notice he's not like so explosive and doesn't get much separation on this play, right? But again, we see the gliding in midair, the way that he's able to like tightly contest or contort his body, maintain balance, and finish on the scoop. Like, just a highly, highly impressive play by Richardson in a game and a season, honestly, full of highly impressive plays. And just the tough shot making, the jail, all of the stuff that we've watched throughout this entire video. Richardson ISO step back three. Yeah, he was feeling it. That's a bit of an understandable heat check. But we're coming to the end of these clips, but let me know if you like this format, just kind of watching through offensive possessions and kind of live talking scouting. But another just beautiful footwork right there. Look at this. I mean, he's not going to be a player who like flattens his angle and just explodes into a crevice and gets downhill, right? That's just not his game. He doesn't have that kind of burst or explosion, but he can get to a spot, pivot, use his shoulder. Again, instances of generating contact, willing to be physical, and finish strong with the left hand. Like, I don't know how good Richardson's going to be. I'm still figuring that out. He's going to be a damn good player. I know that. I really do believe he has a place in the league as a good player for a decent amount of time, as probably like a secondary guard. But maybe there's some higher end upsides given his production and his age. Like, I definitely understand the Jase Richardson hype. But anyways, again, would love a like, comment, subscribe, thoughts, all that would be hugely appreciated. Hit the bell if you want notifications, which I would love you forever if you did. But thank you so much, and I will see you all later.